Welcome to my video recording based on utilization of electric power. Paper code EE702. Today's topic is the last topic based on electrolysis process, and that is on electrodeposition process part 2. Myself Rumrum Banerjee, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department, Dr. Sudhir Chandra Sur Institute of Technology and Sports Complex. Basically, in this lecture, we will learn something about electrodeposition of metals. That means the precious metals, those are used for mainly industrial purposes that should be very purified manner. And when we are using this from alloy, definitely we need to purify it from the alloy part and separate it. So for that reason, we need electrodeposition process, and those things we will, how the things are happening, we will see through this lecture. So electrodeposition, the process of depositing a coating of one metal over another metal or non-metal electrically is called electrodeposition. The process of depositing a coating of one metal over another metal or non-metal electrically is called electrodeposition. It is used for protective, decorative and functional purposes and includes such process as electroplating, electroforming, electrotyping, electrofacing, electrometallization, electrodeposition of rubber, and building up of worn out parts for repairs. That means there is a huge path where we can use this electrodeposition process. So we will see how the electrodeposition process is going on. The factor which the quality of electrodeposition depends are given below. First one, the nature of electrolyte. The formation of smooth deposition largely depends upon the nature of electrolyte employed. The electrolyte from which complex ions can be obtained, such as cyanide, provides a smooth deposit. Secondly, current density. What do you mean by current density, and what is the effect of current density in case of electrodeposition? Electrodeposition depends upon the rate at which crystals grow and the rate at which fresh nuclei are formed. Therefore, at low current densities, the deposits are coarse and crystalline in nature. The deposit of metal will be uniform and fine-grained if the current density is used at rate higher than that at which the nuclei are formed. In case the rate of formation of nuclei is very high due to very high current density, there is a chance that the limiting value of electrolyte is exceeded, at which instances the deposit will be spongy and porous. Definitely we don't need such kind of metal which becomes spongy or porous. So the current density should be maintained and the nature of electrolyte also need to be maintained. And these two parameters are very important for the case of electrodeposition maintaining quality. Third thing we have to maintain, that is temperature. A low temperature of the solution favors formation of small crystals of metal. a low temperature of the solution favors formation of small crystal of metals and a high temperature large crystals. In some cases, this is very marked, a difference of only 15 degree resulting in 50% decrease in strength of the metal deposited. On the other hand, high temperature may give beneficial results due to increased solubility of the salt, permitting greater metal concentration and higher current densities. Secondly, increased conductivity, which also permits higher current densities and reduces the tendency to form trees. Thirdly, decreased occlusion of hydrogen in the deposited metal, which in many cases is the case of bad deposits. Since both A and B tend to decrease crystal size, they may in some cases counteract the tendency of temperature alone to increase the crystal size. So these are the valuable points we have to remember for the crystal formation or forming the metal deposition. So definitely the temperature is a very important aspect or very important point in case of metal deposition by electrodeposition process. So we have to remember the tendency of temperature alone to increase the crystal size. This is a valuable term to remember. Next point is conductivity. The use of this solution of a good conductivity is important from the standpoint of view of economy in power consumption and also because it reduces the tendency to form trees and rough deposits. That means the use of a solution of good conductivity is very important from the standpoint of view of economy in power consumption and also because it reduces the tendency to form trees and rough deposits. Fifthly, electrolytic concentration. Higher current density, which is necessary to obtain uniform and fine grain deposit, can be achieved by increasing the concentration of the electrolyte. So these are the 5 important points we have to remember in case of electrodeposition process. Okay. So all these points I have discussed here, mainly 5 points I have discussed. One is the nature of electrolyte. Secondly, the current density. Third one is temperature. Fourth one is conductivity. Fifth one is electrolytic concentration. All these points are very, very important in case of electrodeposition. These factors are considered. Next point is additional agents. The addition of acids or other substances to the electrolyte reduces its resistance as already mentioned. There is another class of additional agents which takes little or no direct part in the chemical reaction but influences the nature of deposit. Sometimes even making an otherwise unworkable process into one of the practical importance. Such additional agents are glue, gums, dystran, gelatin, alkaloids, albumin, phenol, glycerin, sugar, glucose, rubber, etc. The crystal nuclei absorb the additional agent added in the electrolyte. This prevents to have large growth, and thus deposition will be fine-grained. For obtaining satisfactory deposit of zinc from zinc sulfate solution, addition of glucose or certain type of sugar is necessary. So definitely the 6th point, that is also very important in case of electrodeposition. That means up to now we have discussed 6 points, the factors which quality of electrodepositions are mainly depends. That is nature of electrolyte, secondly current density, thirdly temperature, fourthly conductivity, fifthly electrolytic concentration, and sixth additional agent. All these points are very important in case of factor considering in electrodeposition. 7th point, that is throwing power. This is the ability of electrolyte to produce uniform deposit on an article of irregular shape and is one of the most important characteristics of plating or deposition. Both. The distance between the various portions of the cathode and anode will be different due to irregular shape of cathode. Due to the unequal distance, the resistance of the current path through the electrolyte for various portions of the cathode will be different. But the potential difference between the anode at any point of the article to be plated will of course the same, and the result will be that the current density will be more on the portion nearer to anode, and it will cause uneven deposit of the metal. Throwing power can be improved in two ways. Firstly, by increasing the distance between the anode and cathode, and secondly, by reducing the voltage drop at cathode surface. In some cases, decrease of current density causes decrease in voltage drop at cathode, leaving more voltage available for overcoming the resistance of the electrolyte, thus tending to counteract any change in current concentration. This is the reason that solution of the cyanides of metals usually have a better throwing power than solution of sulfates. So that is the reason why we are using different kinds of solutions and different kinds of materials in case of solution. So definitely there is a throwing of power factor. Throwing of power, this thing is very important, and the fact we can see that the throwing of power can be improved in two ways. Firstly, by increasing the distance between the anode and cathode, and secondly, by reducing the voltage drop at cathode surface. These are the points we have to remember for the case of throwing power using different kinds of solutions. Now next point is polarization. The rate of deposition of metals increase with the increase in electroplating current density up to the certain limit, after which electrolytes surrounding the base metal become so much depleted of metal ions that in that the increase in current density does not cause increase in rate of deposition. Use of current density beyond this limit cause electrolysis of water and hydrogen liberation on the cathode. This hydrogen evolved on cathode blankets and the base metal, which reduces the rate of metal deposition. This phenomenon is called polarization. Blanketing the effect can be reduced by agitating the electrolyte with reverse current electroplating, in which at regular intervals plating current is reversed. For a second also, sufficient electron concentration is established around the base metal and the polarization effect becomes negligible even with very high overall speed of plating. The other advantage of reverse current plating are, first of all, unsound and inferior metal is depleted during reverse current period and flat level surfaces are produced. Secondly, metal surface is brightened, caused elimination of buffing or polishing operation. These things are done. Now the last topic, that is power supply for electrolytic process. Power supply required for electrolytic process is direct current and at very low voltage. The power required for electrodeposition is usually very small, between 100 and 200 amperes at 10 or 12 volts, and can be obtained either by employing a motor generator set consisting of a standard induction motor driving heavy current low voltage DC generator, preferably separately excited, or by employing the copper oxide rectifier. The latter is preferred because of low maintenance cost, occupying less space and higher operating efficiency. Mercury arc rectifier cannot be used because it has low efficiency at low output DC voltage on account of constant voltage drops at cathode and anodes. The plate rectifier unit is usually placed along with transformer in the oil so that it may be protected from the corrosive fumes of the electrolyte. Recently, the solid state rectifying device employing germanium and silicon diodes have been developed for use. These solid state devices occupy very small space even as compared to metal rectifiers. Output DC voltage can be controlled by controlling the excitation of the generator in case of motor generator set, and by means of continuously variable auto transformer in the case of rectifier is being supplied. This method of control is suitable where one bath is being supplied. In case more than one bath are supplied, a variable resistance is connected in series with each bath so that the supply to each bath can be controlled independently. With the development of SCRs or thyristor, which can be control output voltage of power supplies, their use in power supplies for electrochemical process has increased. They are also compact and light in weight. Even cooling attachments are included. Voltage control is very using output of transformers. Power supply required for extracting of metals and large scale manufacture of chemical is very large amounts. Since most of the process are continuous, therefore have a load factor of 100%. Because of power requirements in large amount and 100% load factor, such plants are located near the hydroelectric power station or atomic power stations. Even if extra transportation of raw material is necessitated, the advantage of high load factor is greater with such stations than with steam stations, and also transmission costs are eliminated. Nagal Fertilizer Factory producing calcium, ammonium nitrate and heavy water and utilizing power of 180 megawatt from the left bank Bhakra Power House and Sriram Fertilizing Factory located at Kota are instances in the support of the above statement. The voltage of each cell is about 10 volts, but if cells are connected in series, current of the order of several thousand amperes will be required at the voltage of order 500 to 800 volts. Thus, by employing heavy current motor generator, rotary converters or even mercury arc rectifiers, the required supply may be obtained from the modern grid network. So that's all about electrodeposition process, and the total lecture we have taken from the book of J.B. Gupta. Here we are finishing the lecture of electrolysis process, and this is the last topic of utilization of electric power. Thank you for listening my lectures, and I have finished here today the utilization of electric power module. Thank you all.